And good morning, JD with Soda Solar here, and we are working on this 2019, it is a Reflection, Grand Design Reflection 337. Is it 337?
Yeah, 337.
The 337, I got the customer here, they're hanging out here while we're doing the install, so this is really fun. I get to chat with them and explain the process and all that stuff. But we're going to be putting on a really good size system on this rig. I believe we're doing 8 of the 200 watt solar panels on the roof. Kind of leaving that open a little bit depending on how much space we end up having up there. We got the Multi-Plus 3000. We're actually going 24 volts on this system, which is really nice. That a lot of efficiencies in the 24 volt system that makes it really nice. But I'll show you what we're looking at doing right now. Up here in this front bay, we got this cleaned out already. Actually, so we started this job yesterday. I didn't film anything, sorry. Got a little too busy working on things. But there was right here and over on the other side over here, 2 just lead acid batteries. That's what they were running on. We are flattening this floor. So we took out the holders that were recessed down in here. And we've got this plugged up with some aluminum plate here, screwed in there, did a little caulk seal around it. And on this side as well. And so what we're doing is we're putting a board across the entire bottom here. That's where our batteries are going to set on. And then up here on this whole wall right here is going to be the main backboard. That's where we're going to mount the Multi-Plus, the charge controller, servo, all that fun stuff up there. I think we're going to be running the main AC runs probably up over here. So this right here is the backside of the 12 volt shutoff switch for the rig. We're going to be mounting it or going through somewhere over here, and then I'll show you in here. That should be coming out somewhere around here, and then we can just tuck that main wire run up underneath here, go all the way over, and then back behind this wall. We got to pull this wall right here, this angled one, and that gives us access to it. Not too far, probably 3 feet on the back side of this is the main breaker box for inside the rig, so that's where we can land our AC wires. Our servo screen is going, I believe, just going up inside the wall, not too far from where the breaker box is going to be at. And it should be really straightforward getting that in there. Here in a little bit, I'll take you up on the roof and show you what we got going on up there. All right, here we are up on the roof. So the plan is, we're kind of scoping this out. I think we're going to be fitting 8 of the 200 watt panels on here. And we want to keep plenty of room up here for serviceability, the air conditioners, vents, stuff like that. So we're planning on running them pretty much just along the sides. I think we'll be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and then 4 coming down on this side. So it'll be 1 way up there, and then 3 in a line right here. There's plenty of space to walk in the center here. And right now I'm actually just going over to our vent right over here. I'm going to be running the endoscope down it just to make sure it's a straight shot all the way down. Every now and then we've had it before where you look at a gray tank vent and you're like, oh yeah, that's going to be a straight shot. And you start running wires and you realize a foot down, all of a sudden they decide to go over, sideways, under with that vent, which is not a problem for it being a vent. It is a problem if you're trying to run wires through it, however. It is incredibly difficult. So we're going to scope that out first, make sure it's a straight shot all the way down. So that way we don't have another roof penetration of a roof port for the wires to go through there. Ideally, we try to minimize how many times you're poking holes in the roof, just to prevent leaks. The more holes you got, the more likelihood you are going to have a leak at some point in time. So, all right, I'm going to get working on that, and hopefully it's a straight shot. All right, here we are in the shop. I'll show you the board that we got put together over there in the corners. Sean and Bear, and where's Zuki? Zuki was somewhere over there. Oh, come on, focus. Focus. There's the man at work. He's, oh, sorry. He's on the phone right now, so we'll quiet. So the board, this is what we've got. So this is the size. Something really cool that we discovered is that this carpet, because it's the, what is it, polyester, whatever, it's basically made of plastic. A dry erase marker. You can mark on this carpet, draw lines, whatever you want to, and it erases if you just rub it enough. See, it comes right off. No, you can't even, well, I guess you can kind of still tell there was a line there. But I'll take care of that a little bit more. But you can erase it, which is really, really nice for planning, especially when you have dimensions that you need to be aware of, where things are at. You can see at the top of the board right here, I've got this little marker cutout thing. So inside his rig, there's a bar that hangs down this low. I wanted the board to extend up as high as it could go because there's angle steel up top there that I want to tie in the top of the board onto to be able to hold the top. But I don't want to really put anything up above behind that steel bar. It's actually going to be sitting right about here is where that steel bar is at. So in theory, you could sneak this up higher and you'd still have clearance, but we're going to keep this down low just for accessibility. And anyways, right here too, this area that's notched out, the leveling system for his rig kind of hangs down right here in this area. So I didn't want to have anything hidden back behind there that you can't see. So the board, what we got going on here, we got the Multi-Plus 2 3000, the 24 volt version. So we're going to be setting that right here. This line right here is going to be the height of our batteries. So this is going up against the back wall. So we'll have a board right here coming out that the batteries are going to sit on. We have 4, which is really nice. 4 of these guys right here. It is an Epoch. It's kind of spelled Epoch, but my understanding is it's pronounced Epoch. 4 of the 24 volt, they're the 24 volt 100 amp hour batteries. They're really, really nice batteries. They have Victron comms already included in it. It also has a disaster fuse inside of it for protection, which is just an incredibly nice peace of mind item to have. So if we got 4 of those, they're going to be landing right here in a row. It should turn out really nice, so I'm excited for this build. And good morning. We are on day 3 of this build. Just didn't film much after yesterday morning, kind of giving you an overview of what's going on. But got the board all wired up as much as we could inside the shop here. It's 10 times easier getting it wired up on a board instead of crawling inside a bay and you're trying to land wires and bending your body in all sorts of weird contorted ways to try to get stuff in there. This seems to be a lot better and a lot safer too, honestly. You know you got good connections. You know that everything is landed really good because you can work on it in a comfortable position. So this is what we got. I just applied power to it. We're going to start programming the Multi-Plus and the charge controller here. But just kind of the quick overview of where things are sitting. We'll start on the negative side here. So we have our smart shunt sitting right here. That's plugged into our servo over there. Links distribution right here. All the fuses. Our solar breaker is right here. We're going to have the solar coming in. It's going to be coming in this raceway over here, down here, up to here, and then from there up to the charge controller there. Continuing on to the left, we have our Daihuel 200 amp breaker. So this is a 24 volt system, so we don't need a 400 amp breaker, just a 200 does the job there. The Multi-Plus 3000 24 volt. That's wired in, landed onto the distributor right here. The Servo GX-S. So it's the S model, a little bit cheaper. This customer doesn't need anything too fancy for the extra. I think it's the digital inputs and outputs that they have on the Servo GX. But this one does not have those. Customer doesn't really need it. The 250x70 charge controller right here, and then the Orion 24 volt to 12 volt step down converter. So this is landed off of our 24 volt side here, and then our 12 volt side is going to be coming off of here. So we're going to have our positive and negative going to a battery. Let's see here. I don't think I have that battery over here at all, but it's just going to be a little 100 amp hour lithium battery that's going to be set at that. And we have a so that output voltage, we have it set at 13.8, which should keep that 100 amp hour lithium charged up pretty good. It's not going to get all the way up to 100%, but that battery is going to be used very little. It's only going to be used for pretty much hard draws, like when the landing gear is going down or something like that. It's going to be using some of the capacity. If not, it's going to be the Orion itself is pretty much going to be taking control of most of the 12 volt loads, keeping everything up at that 13.8 volts. I think that's about all I've got for updates right now. We're going to try to get this board installed this morning and then work on solar this afternoon. It's an absolute beautiful day, so I love it when we get to do solar, and it's really nice out.
Hey, I hope you're liking this particular video where JD and I are working together. I've been handling the solar up here. I'd like to tell you about what I'm doing, why, and yeah, just share about how we put solar on an RV roof. All right, so up on here, I believe the original plan was only 8 panels, but like a lot of times, plans change. We are up to 10. So for 2,000 watts of solar, 24 volt system, really liking that. Lot to like there. We've got the panels wired in sets of 2, which does put us, this is about the largest system I would ever want to do in that sets of 2 configuration. And a quick reminder for everybody who doesn't know, we use the 24 volt rich solar panels, which mean they run at about 45 to 40 volts. And when you put them in series, that gets you up to about 90 to 80 volts. So that's how we can run so much power through a 10 gauge wire. And that puts us into the mid 20s on amps at 100% efficiency, which you generally don't see all that often. But you just don't want to get too close to that 30 amp limit on your 10 gauge wire. There's just not a lot of room for error at that point. Your connection's got to be perfect, all that stuff. That's how you can get burned connections. Maybe in other installs, you might see these MC4 connectors get burned. That's where you're trying to push too many amps through that connector. It won't support it. That's why you got to keep your amps higher. Your volts higher, keep your amps down. Let's go over at least how I accomplish the 2x2 or the 2 series pairs. What I try and do when I'm trying to create my series pairs is try to find panels that are going to be in close proximity, because I don't want to run the wires too long, and this is important, that they are going to be receiving similar solar environments, or they're going to get the same sun, basically. So I would not want to put a panel on one side of the air conditioner and the other side of the conditioner in series. Reason why I don't want to do that is because when that air conditioner gets shaded from the sun, it's going to take out the output of that panel as well. We don't want to do that. So I'll put those 2 in series. I didn't do that in this case. We'll get into why. But that would be something I would do, and then put those 2 in series. But there's one sneaking behind there, so that made that a little complicated. But that's what I would want to do in that situation. So let's go over what I ended up doing. Obviously, right here, I did not want to put these together, even though they're really close. So I did this one with this one. Then I did that one, and then I put that one and that one together. Now there's a chance we're going to get sun from this side, and that's going to take out that one. It's just the way it's going to be. It can't be perfect. I'm trying to make the best decision I can. Put that one and this one together, and then this one and this one together. Maybe there's a better solution. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But it's without spending a week with my calculator or drafting tools figuring out, this is the best I can come up with. So obviously you can tell I got some zip ties to clip off, and I've got some more zip ties to put on here to try and clean this up. The other thing I do, customers ask me about this: how do you secure the cables down? I don't overthink it. When the cables lay down kind of nice like this, I just clip the ends and put a little dab of Dicor right there, and that can keep the connectors from coming apart, and it secures it real good, and you don't add any extra entry holes into your roof. No complaints so far on that. I got a little bit more tightening to do here. If we haven't said already, we did run the solar wires down into the vent, and we've been starting to run red and black again, at least up to the roof. It makes making your connections up here and down in the charger bay below a little bit easier. What else we got to talk about here? Oh, I know what it was. So we just got it all hooked up. JD just flipped the switch down in the charger bay. And so what I wanted to do right away is to make sure I got it wired right. How I test to make sure I got it wired up. All the panels are connected and they're all working good. Here's how I test this, okay? I'll take something, in this case I used this spool of wire, and I'll put it, there's a wild JD there. There he is. I'll take that spool of, or something to shade the panel. I'll put it on each set of panels. And then I will look on my phone for the Bluetooth charger, and I'll look and see what the amps, or not the amps, the watts. Well, amps will tell you too, but I like the watts. The watts will tell you how many watts are coming out of it. And then you keep moving that around, and you want it to always change the same. So in full sun, well, now we're getting full sun, but normally with nothing shaded on here, we're getting about 450 watts. When I shaded one of the panels, it went down to 320. because basically we were losing two panels. And I want that same drop anywhere I move the piece of shade. And I'll do that to every panel, and as long as it drops about the same. We're not looking for exact. One time it was 310, another time it was, 325 or 330. It's in the same ballpark. What you're looking for when you can tell that there's something wrong is when you shade a panel or a panel set and it doesn't change at all. If your normal non-shaded is 455 and you put something on another panel and it doesn't change, then you know there's something wrong with that panel or panel group and you want to investigate that. Or if you've got natural self-shading, let's say that air conditioner has already taken that one out, well, you got to keep that in mind. If you're shading part of it, it's just not going to be working well. But anyway, that's what I do to make sure everything's connected right and working properly. And now let's talk about this again. I know many of you have had some customers say, I've watched a number of your videos. I already know how this works. Well, for those of you who are new, I'll give you the speech again. These are the fasteners that come with your panels. These in the bag here. They're garbage. Get rid of them. Okay? We don't want those. I use something like this. Let's make sure we're focused here. There we go. I use something like this. This is a metal roofing screw, which might go on something like that. It's got a lot of tooth to it. It doesn't have, it's not self-tapping. I mean, it does have a little self-tapping in there, but it doesn't mill the material away or drill the material away. So it grabs into the roof really well, and it has a chance to try and self-seal a little bit. Of course, we do die-core underneath the bracket, and then we'll put the fastener through and then put some die-core on top. Never had any leaks. As far as we're aware, this is the way to go. And can't complain about it. Feels pretty darn good to have all these secured down, and I can get off the roof now. Got all my stuff on the scaffold here, and I can't complain though. It's nice sunshine. It's mid-70s today. Just enough to get a little sweat on, but not enough to be miserable.
You're just complaining to me.
I was not complaining. You were asking me my favorite color.
Okay, fine.
No, he really was asking me my favorite color. That's the kind of stuff we talk about here at Sota Solar.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. No, green, red. Okay. Yeah, but seriously now. This is all done. You can see how we do little die-core dabs to secure everything down. In this hot sun, it's going to set up real quick. It already is skinning over. So, real happy with this. And I think we're about ready to turn things on officially. I think JD is wrapping up the AC mains over there. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, or maybe he already has. So I'm gonna get off the roof, maybe have a little bit more of my iced coffee. We're live here now.
Yes, of course.
Things. So JD is putting together the shore power connection to the multi-plus. So
yep,
that would be the input side of the AC in on the multi-plus. And what we did, I'll give you a little of the landscape of things. So we've got two AC lines coming from the battery compartment, or the front compartment there. One line's the AC out of the multi-plus, runs to the panel over there, the electrical panel, and then the other one runs over to here, and JD is just connecting things up here carefully.
Disconnecting for the
we're disconnecting first.
Yep, we gotta take the old stuff off.
That's like Zuki and Bear. They want you to throw the ball, but they don't want you to give it. So it's kind of like that. You got to disconnect it before you can connect it. You can't just make connections.
Something that's always good to remember when you're changing stuff out. Yeah. Take all this stuff off the old cord and put it on the new cord in the order in which it was removed. Or
how many times have we made all the connections on this thing only to realize we got to take them all back out and put those on?
Exactly.
At least 3 for me.
What just happened? Was it last week for me?
Oh.
It was...
Well,
I got in a hurry.
That's all right. Happens to the best of us. You know what? That would be another thing to think about when you're doing anything like this. Try not to be in a hurry. Good work doesn't happen when you're in a hurry.
That's true.
Here's how we installed the Servo GX display. We ended up going with the 7-inch screen and moved the standard Grand Design controls up to make room for the screen.
All right, well, we're finally done with this install. We got Bear here. He's just wrapping things up. What do you think, Mr. Bear? He thinks it's too hot. We ended up with 2,000 watts on the roof, 400 amp hours of Epoch or Epoch batteries. I'm trying to figure out how they want me to pronounce it. 24 volt system, Victron Multi-Plus 3000 in there, and it can definitely run in an air conditioner for quite a long time. And we got the shut-off switch and these die-hole breakers that we really like using for our main our main DC disconnects and circuit protection. And of course, we got some little lights up in here. JD put that together. And we also got the fan going here. We repurposed the old battery vent tube and put a fan on it, and it is doing its best right now. It sucks pretty good out of here, and I mean that in the best way. The other thing we did here that was a little interesting is for the 12 volt battery and the 12 volt system, people ask, how do we handle that quite a bit? So we do the step down converter, but we also put a battery in line with it here. One of the reasons we do that is it provides a buffer when you're trying to run your jacks and your slide outs. It provides a buffer because that little guy right there, it has a hard time supplying all the amps it may need. And then secondarily, it also acts as kind of an emergency reserve. If anything were to go down with this system, you still got a 12 volt battery. And we did the little 12 volt lead time mini battery for that. And we did some 2020 extruded aluminum as a hold down. I really like the way that came out. And boy, this is our first full install with these Epoch batteries, because they are pretty epic. I got a lot of good things to say. About my only downside right now is the mounting brackets here. I wish there was a way to kind of nest them a little bit tighter, but it is what it is. They got nice disconnects. These are fully heated. If anybody's interested in Epoch batteries before and they've been turned off because of the cost, they just came down 20% as of July 1st, 2024, and that's one of the reasons we've been able to offer them. They're not a lot more expensive than something like an SOK, and that was actually the original plan on this build, but we pivoted to these because we had them available, and I think they're a great option, a great upgrade, and don't cost all that much more. So from all of us here at Sota Solar, spelled with an L in solar, thank you for watching. And if you need any help on a solar system like yours, in an RV, ambulance conversion, bus conversion, ice house, golf cart, four-wheeler, playhouse, I don't know, I'm running out of things to think about that you could put solar in, but it could probably be done. Give us a call, shoot us an email, visit us on the web at sotasolar.com. That's again with an L in solar. So Bear's getting hot, so I better get him inside. See you next time.